Hello, welcome to STH English. So, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have finally created an agreement, a framework to take their defense, cooperation, and mutual understanding about each other's security needs and how to protect these needs to the next level. The agreement has been signed with great style. It has the right kind of fanfare and flair and frills and pomposity and projection and amplification through media that it deserves, not because it is the first of its kind between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have been involved in different levels of mutual cooperation for decades. And as this agreement points out, it's a friendship and cooperation that dates back to almost like 8 decades, ever since the two countries started their journey as independent nations. Pakistan has been training the Saudi forces for at least 4 to 5 decades, since the 60s, and has already trained something like 9,000 officer corps in Saudi Arabia. Pakistan has its deployments there at strategic points, and the two countries also collaborate in multiple areas. But this time round, what has happened is that this agreement, and that's why the celebrations were called for, has put together all the diverse elements and bound them to a mutually endorsed, mutually celebrated agreement, to the point that they actually ended up releasing a song. Take a listen to this.
وسيف واحد في الميدان في قصر اليمامة لاقت الأرواح وصال.
So that tells you that while it kind of binds together all the diverse elements that were already in play into one agreement, but it also caps it with this clause which suggests that any aggression against one country will be considered to be an aggression against both countries, and both will be joining their forces to defend each other's sovereignty. Remember, this is strategic. This is not tactical. This is not about India attempting to fund TTP and do it successfully via Afghanistan, and they try to create local mayhem, and then Pakistan hits it back. So it's not about counterterrorism, counterinsurgency, or border incursions on one country hears a threat from another country and you immediately go for a verbal defense of your friend. None of that. Some of that might happen, but none of that. It really deals with clear and present and existential military threat to each country's core existence. Then all the elements of this agreement will kick in. And these elements have no limits. That's the second point to remember. It is not an agreement related to naval exercises. It is not about military training. It is not just about flying each other's aircraft or training in each other's academies. It is much more than that. It is about joint production of equipment. Saudis have been meaning to localize their defense needs, and meeting those needs, the infrastructure that is required. More than 50% of their defense needs, they think, need to come from localized productions, and Pakistan has great infrastructure available to that extent. Saudis are big purchasers from the international market, but they are trying to diversify their defense purchases, and that's where Pakistan comes in. That's where China also comes in. Turkey also comes in. Saudis require training. Pakistan can offer remarkable lessons and training in military strategy. Pakistan needs to develop its defense industry, take it to the next level. So mutual collaboration is going to plow back into Pakistani research, which is already supported by the Turks and other Central Asian countries, including China, into Pakistan's research and a new avenues of competence, technological competence can be achieved. So the sky is the limit. You must have noticed that I have not spoken about the nuclear word, the N word. I think it's pretty much obvious that when you talk about existential threats and the agreement does not put a bar on the nature of this collaboration, that the option is out there on the table, or out there under the table, if not on the table. Whether Pakistan and Saudi Arabia will go to that point remains to be seen. But it is very interesting that the agreement does not rule out the possibility of this kind of collaboration, because it does not rule out any kind of possibility. It does not recognize any limit. Now, what does it mean for the region at large, and more importantly, why have the Saudis done this? Saudis are very smart people. You have to look at the MBS way of handling things to understand how transformational his effect has been ever since he came to power in Saudi Arabia. The country has changed remarkably in terms of its diversification of diplomatic ties, and how he has been able to put Saudi Arabia on the road to modernization and fast-tracking it at the same time. So Saudis don't do it for the sake of it. They don't do it because Pakistan wants it. No, I think as much as it is important for Pakistan, it is more important even for the Saudis, driven by what I call 5 betrayals. Betrayal number 1 is that they trusted America to be a key stabilizing force in the Middle East. Trump really has let them down. Betrayal number 2. Saudis always thought that they had a key relationship with Washington, and while other partners like UAE and Qatar were also important, but America gave them special importance. But the Trump administration has shown that no country is really important to Trump administration. Everybody is up for insult one point or the other as far as Trump administration's handling is concerned. And Saudis don't want to be in that category. Betrayal number 3, Saudis watched with great interest how Trump was treated in Qatar. Red carpet, super red carpet was rolled out. How Trump was treated by UAE, super red carpet was rolled out. Commitments were made. Gifts were exchanged, very expensive gifts, diamond pens and aircraft included. And look what Trump did to them. Dropped the ball when it came to holding back Israel, and left Qataris in the lurch, and then tried to lecture them that, frankly, you need to swallow this bitter pill because Israel happens to be our friend number 1. Betrayal number 4 is that Saudis became part of the alternative to CPAC, which was negotiated as another trading route. India, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and into Europe. And Saudis wanted to use this as a pathway to engage Israel and put some civility in the head of the ruling junta in Israel, that you need to coexist in this region. Realize your potential, but realize your limitations. Israelis betrayed them hook, line, and sinker, basically grabbing Palestinian land, displacing millions of Palestinians, and committing genocide and heinous crimes against humanity. And Saudis felt as if they had zero clout with Netanyahu. And despite all the backdoor engagements that they made with the U.S. With regard to Israel, nothing has led to any result. That's a deep, deep betrayal. Betrayal number 5 does not really relate directly to Saudi Arabia, but it does relate to Iran. Outside powers like India could be another way to build some sort of a secure base in the Middle Eastern region. But Saudis must have watched with great care and attention how Modi let down Iran when it came to crunch time between Iran and Israel, despite all the investments that Iran had made into its diplomatic and defense ties with India, and vice versa. When it came to the testing times, India just walked away from Iran. India also walked away from this region. When it came to attack on Doha, Narendra Modi was mealy-mouthing in terms of condemnation of Israel, never did do that. Instead, he developed a new bromance with Israel. So Saudis must be wondering that India is an unreliable partner. America has let them down. Israelis are never to be trusted again. And on top of it, and this is the supra-betrayal, all three seem to be joining forces and creating circumstances which weaponize public sentiments inside the Middle Eastern countries, which anger people and create frustrations which can implode and topple regimes in the Middle East. And that is unacceptable to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is looking for partners which are reliable and which can be gateways to deeper cooperation with other countries. And Pakistan fits the bill, and it fits as precisely as a hand in glove. With Pakistan stands China. With Pakistan stands Azerbaijan. With Pakistan stands Iran. With Pakistan stands Turkey. And Pakistan's proven capability and Saudi resources can create a remarkable base for these two countries to create a network of regional answers to regional threats. That's what makes this agreement not just a bilateral agreement, but a path-breaking event that can pave the way for big-ticket developments in the days ahead. Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are two time-tested friends, but this time round, the agreement had to be made, popularized, projected in a way to send a message across to the world that countries have realized that you can not buy security, you cannot buy security and outsource security, you cannot develop and realize your economic dreams if your security shield is weak. This agreement is going to become the prototype of many other agreements that may follow involving Pakistan and other countries, which will find an answer to the Indian challenge, the Netanyahu challenge, and the challenge of depending too much on the U.S. If it works out, which we hope it does work out, because this is serious business, then you would find the matrix of security arrangements in this region and beyond change radically.